That coverage of the Canada Cup continues 2-1 here. The USA leading Team Czechoslovakia. And at this time, we've got Pat LaFontaine standing by. And Pat missed the first couple of games for your Team USA and must feel good to get back and be a part of it all again.
Well, it sure does, Eddie. My timing wasn't too good on the hip flexor injury, but it's one of those muscle injuries. You have to let it heal, and fortunately it feels a lot better, and it's good to be in the lineup. It's nice to have the lead 2-1.
Now listen, you have to level with me. I mean, after all of the practicing that you've been doing for a month and getting ready for your return here, listen, it wasn't exactly a hard-fought puck that you put in the net.
Well, sometimes you get those easy ones. You work hard, and sometimes the harder ones don't come. But it was a matter of five guys out there working and driving to the net, and it just happened to be in the right spot for a rebound and had an empty net. It was nice to contribute out there. Give
us your impressions of the first period, Pat.
Well, I thought that we had some real good chances. I thought about 3/4 through the period we started to get off our system a little bit, and I think we took some penalties that didn't help us. We'd like to stay out of the box and get it back into our rhythm and get 4 lines flowing and get some, like I say, a good rhythm in our system like we did in the very first about 8 minutes or so.
Pat, I know that you've had enough experience in this television business, having worked with you over the past few years. Would you take a look down at your monitor? I think they're going to show us the goal that you scored, and maybe you could give us some of the insights of what you were doing and how it all unfolded.
Well, this is after the play. Greg Brown just happened to throw the puck. He's going to throw it towards the net, and I had earlier just got out and passed it to Dave Christian, who put a shot on the net. Here it is right here. Dave Christian puts a shot on the net. The rebound goes to the left, and I just came out from behind the net, and Doug Brown put a pass right over to me, and there was an empty net. So all the guys were driving to the net, and just happened that the puck came free at a good spot.
As a player of a long time ago, I used to hate having to check guys like you because you always knew where to go and when to do it. You're always there at the right time. You can't check that kind of a thing. Now let me get to another point of your career. Obviously everybody that follows hockey knows that you have a problem with the New York Islanders. Could you bring us up to date as just about where you are? Because at one point you had asked to be traded, and so far you have not been. And the team has not been sold, so could you reflect on that for us, please?
Well, Eddie, basically in January I requested to be traded, and it was a long process, and basically the way things had been handled, I was a little disappointed at the way the situation had gone on for a period of time, and but I tried to put that behind me, and I tried to do what I thought was best, and of course I requested a trade. It wasn't an easy thing, but now we're to a point where from what I understand, the team could be sold. The team went up for sale a couple weeks later, and I'm like a lot of the other players. We're waiting to see what happens on Long Island, hoping for the best. I'm keeping an open mind towards the sale of the team, but right now my feelings really haven't changed a lot since January.
Pat, I remember something that you did say in reference to this particular incident, and that it wasn't money. Money was not the question about you asking to be traded.
Well, like I said earlier, Eddie, it was really no monetary issue. It came down to principle on my decision. It came down to communication and honesty, and it just dragged on for a period of time, and some things that happened. It's unfortunate, but it's a part of the business. You realize you have to deal with that side, and you do your best to separate the two, and you never want to lose the love of the game. But I think you have to stand up for what you believe is right, and like I said, I hope it works out for everybody.
Pat, for me on the selfish side, we'll only hope that you're playing back in New York with the Islanders, and continued success here with the Canada Cup and your Team USA.
Oh, thanks, Eddie.
The Team USA leading 2-1 over Team Czechoslovakia here at the end of the first period at the Joe Louis Arena. You've been watching the Canada Cup, Labatt's Canada Cup.
So we have to take advantage of it. We got 40 minutes to win a hockey game.
Let me ask you about some of the things. Is it true, the way I see it, that your left winger seems to be the one that doesn't do any forechecking? He seems to be putting himself in a position to either score a goal or always be in a position to back check.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. We're getting too much room to good skaters like Modano and Roenick, and they had all kinds of time to carry the puck from their zone, and they were hitting our blue line 100 miles per hour. And as you know, probably it's really hard for the defenders to stop them from going around us. So we have to change the tactics a little bit.
Frank Musil, thank you for the quick interview. I know we're running into a time problem here. Success for you and your teammates and here in the Canada Cup. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Frank. You're watching the Canada Cup, the Labatt Canada Cup, and it's 2-1 the United States over Czechoslovakia.
Czechoslovakia 2-1, and Team USA got it cranked up early. I'm Jinx McDonald with Ed Westfall. Good start for the Team USA squad, and then they seemed to back off a little bit.
They did, Jags, and they are responsible for their own actions in the sense that it didn't seem that there was anything that happened that made Team USA back off. But as you had mentioned, he's got a good early jump, and as Pat LaFontaine had described, with Doug Brown and Dave Christian helping out, there's Brown as he turns. LaFontaine moved in, grabbed the puck, fired it in. Hasek down, trying to spread out, but he couldn't do it. Here's another angle of the same goal, watching LaFontaine come out from behind the net and just jam it in. That was the 1-0 lead. First goal for LaFontaine. First shift for LaFontaine. He missed the first 2 games.
Then they take a 2-0 lead on a goal that came from an area the coaches were concerned about. Specialty teams, the power play finally works. They get only the 1 chance in the first period, but Jeremy Roenick finds pay dirt.
Yes, he does, and Roenick has been dangerous. Just prior to getting the goal, he had another opportunity, and here's some beautiful puck handling by Brian Leach, the New York Rangers. There's the pass back, taking it off his left skate, bringing it up to the stick was Roenick, and Jeremy Roenick, who had 2 goals against Team Sweden, gets a power play goal here, a beauty, as he pulled the puck up and then he fired it. You could see Hasek did not have a whole lot to look at with a lot of bodies moving across in front of him.
By the 8-minute mark of the opening period, Team USA led by a score of 2-0. About 5 or 6 minutes later, the flow started to change, and it all favored Czechoslovakia over the balance of the period.
Well, as I had pointed out, Jigs, they started to stick check, Team USA, and the result was this grab, a stolen puck, a loose puck by Jelinek, and he wrung it off the goalpost to the right of Mike Richter. We'll get another look at that. You can see the confusion here. There's Kevin Hatcher moving out. Then he turns around. He realized all of a sudden some of the players scatter around trying to cover up. Richter reaches back, looks back. It was in the net, 2-1.
Unassisted goal. Team USA outshoots Czechoslovakia by a margin of 10-8 and lead 2-1. This is the 1991 Labatt Canada Cup.